Good morning. On behalf of the province of Manitoba, I offer sincere condolences to the family, friends, and community members who lost two of our own. The news of this loss of life changes what was an emergency into a tragedy. And as Manitobans, we join those affected in your time of mourning. The flags are flying at half-mast here at the Manitoba Legislature as a small gesture towards the sympathies that we feel and how this latest turn in this year's wildfire situation hits on a different emotional level. Yesterday and into this morning, the folks on the front lines have been standing up and responding to the call of duty above and beyond. And I know that the average everyday Manitoban is talking about what's happening, and we're changing our plans for this coming long weekend. And so a big part of the message today is asking folks who I know want to do the right thing and want to do what we can to help to listen to evacuation orders, particularly the latest orders that are coming in the Whiteshell Provincial Park. No matter where you are in Manitoba, we're also asking no fires, please. Any fire that goes out of control, even in an area that's not dealing with wildfire, could potentially pull resources away from the front lines where we urgently need help. And of course, you know, May Long is often a special time. This will be a May Long where we're asking for rain, maybe unlike other years. But whatever we can do to ensure that emergency services and first responders can help respond to the very serious situation in Manitoba right now are things that we can do as the average everyday Manitoban to help make a difference for our fellow provincial citizens through their times of need right now. When we're talking about the situation and the current state of play, there were additional evacuations last night. The community of Woodridge, just I guess south of the Sandylands area in Manitoba, was evacuated. It's about 300 people that we're talking about here, which means that today, just looking at the amount of people registered, it's over 1,000. That is probably a low number because not everyone has registered with your local reception centers. But we do ask folks, if you are out, to please register. It helps us more than anything to be able to account for people when it comes to safety. But also, very importantly, it helps to make sure that people are going to get the emergency social services and other supports that you need while you're out of your homes. At the same time that we have more than 1,000 Manitobans out of our homes, in Winnipeg and other communities in southern Manitoba, we're also hosting more than 1,200 people from Ontario. And so there are a ton of people stepping up, not just on the front lines, but also just by being good hosts and showing that friendly Manitoban hospitality right now. So again, please obey evacuation orders. No fires, please, even if there is not an official fire ban in your part of the province. And in order to back up these measures, later this morning, the province of Manitoba will be declaring a state of emergency in the Whiteshell Provincial Park. That will allow those who work in the Park Service and others in that area to have the emergency powers that they need to keep you safe. It will also help to ensure that the evacuation, which will be taking place today, will be able to proceed in a way that keeps Manitobans safe, keeps first responders safe, and allows us to fight the wildfire situation with a lot of the efficiency that's required. So with that in mind, I want to thank all the firefighters, the folks from the Manitoba Wildfire Service, folks who've joined us from other provinces, people from local fire departments who've been stepping up to fight the blazes in many regions of Manitoba. I also want to thank the local government leaders who've been that first layer of response, both when it comes to assessing and fighting fires in regions like Lac du Bonnet, but also to be that first line of welcome and support for people who have been forced out of their homes by these fires. I cannot say enough about the prep work and the planning that our municipal and local leaders have been doing, the local fire chiefs included. And when you see the effectiveness of their response, it really speaks to not only that lead work that they did, but also their ability to respond calmly and effectively under pressure. So on behalf of the province of Manitoba, we thank you. I also want to thank the evacuees who are being patient and who are working with our officials and ensuring that we're just going to put our collective interests as Manitobans first and foremost when it comes to safety and preserving lives, livelihoods, and property. And of course, to everybody who's hosting evacuees in Winnipeg, in Altona, in Morris, in Steinbach, and other communities across the province, I want to say thanks for stepping up during people's time of need. So this May long weekend is going to be challenging in Manitoba. Not only are we dealing with wildfires in the east where we could use a lot of rain to help us out, we're also dealing with an overland flood warning in western Manitoba as a result of too much precipitation potentially coming in that part of the province. So this May long weekend is certainly going to be something that a lot of families have looked forward to. But I also want to ask that we all work together during this difficult period to make sure that our emergency services and first responders have the space and the capacity to respond to some really serious situations across Manitoba. So perhaps some plans need to change, some reservations in the White Shell will be refunded, but these are simple things that we can do as Manitobans to help our fellow citizens get through some very tough times.